So I apologize for the interruption there. The batteries went out. So we're just going to pick up where we left off here at the bottom of page 1 of the notes for 7.1a. And we were dividing each of these terms by the 9xy, or imagining what would we multiply 9xy by to create this final distribution. So we had done the first two terms. Let's look at the third. To go from 9xy to 45x squared y, or to think division here, 45 divided by 9, you're going to have a 5, and it's plus because we're doing positive divided by positive. X squared divided by x is just going to be x to the first. Y to the first divided by y to the first is just going to be y to the 0, because 1 minus 1. Again, I'm being very specific here as I go through using all the exponent rules. You're going to get to a point where you can do this in your head. The final version here, the simplified version of that, you don't have to write all these ones and zeros. You can just write it as 9xy multiplied by 3xy squared minus 2. X to the 0 is just 1, so minus 2y plus 5x. Y to the 0 is just 1, so this is just going to be plus 5x. Okay, and again, all we're doing right now, we aren't going to worry about what's left inside. Right now in this section, it's just pulling out the greatest common factor. So here's number 38, kind of in the middle in terms of difficulty. We looked at some of the most basics that you start with, where the assignment is headed to some of the hardest ones. You try kind of this middle of the road one. It's number 38. Take a moment to make sure you've copied all the information you need in your notes so that your notes really speak to you. Go ahead and tell somebody what you saw. And another thing you might want to just note is it's very tempting now as we factor to then see this and think, oh, I should distribute, okay? So you need to stop. Don't redistribute, except if you're just trying to mentally check. Because what the instructions say, and this is why it's so critical to really practice and be paying attention to the instructions. We're trying to factor. We're trying to break it down into what did it look like pre-multiplication. So pre-distribution, what did this look like? Or in the next case as we move on, pre-FOIL, pre-multiplying, what did it look like? And then you'll want to pause the video here so that you can try number 38. Come back in a minute after you've paused and you'll see the answer. And when you do come back, that answer should look like the GCF of 13y squared, which would leave behind, after you factored that out, 2y cubed minus 1y, or just minus y, plus 3. And again, if you have any questions in this section, don't hesitate to bring them to class. That's what class time is for, is to really work out the individual issues that people might have. And once again, if you were to want to check it, you would check it by redistributing, but you would stop in terms of the blue right here, the turquoise, being in factored form. We've pulled the GCF out. And again, the insides won't go any further. You might recall from your earlier experience with factoring that you always check for the GCF first and then you tried to go further. Right now, as we're just getting started in 7.1, it'll just be the GCF. There won't be anything else further. That'll come later.